All right guys, today we're gonna put some epoxy primer on the Ghia. Check it out. This corner is a mess. Obviously at some point it took a hit. They tried to fix it, so they kept the original metal and just tried to pull everything it got. It must have got pushed in here pretty good. It's a little messy. It'll be a learning experience. I will try to straighten out some of it, but the thing is this is a outer shell and then there's an inner shell, so you can't get behind here. You can't get behind here and straighten all this out. But there's some little waves and dents and stuff here. And there's an interesting little crease right here. I'm gonna try to clean this up. You can see right here there's a crease. So it definitely got hit and took an impact here. But they were able to save it. The top is good. This section's good. All of this is really, really sweet. There's a little dent here that they fixed. All right, guys, let's get some epoxy primer, some Tamco epoxy primer on the Ghia. I've got a 3M gun here I picked up. I wanted to try this system. It seemed really nice. I like the idea that it has the disposable inserts. And it's got a filter right in the top here, which is pretty cool. And the tips are reusable, but they're also disposable. So you can, they're basically $5 a piece. So if you don't want to go through the hassle of cleaning it, you can just throw it away. And or you can clean it and use it a few times. And it's the way it's designed, it's real simple to clean. It's not as messy as a traditional cleaning setup for a traditional paint gun. Got some really nice epoxy primer here from Tamco. Let's get it mixed up and ready to go. If I can get this off. Oh. Wow, how does that come off? I think we're gonna go with the 2.0. It's got this little protector on here for shipping. And this goes on here like so. You pull the trigger back. And put it on. And this turns tight. Tightens it down. And that's it. You got your fan control and your fluid control, and it gives you a setting. It says to go 2 rotations out from closed. So I turned it 2 rotations that way. And then on this fluid control, it says turn 4 rotations out. So I did that. The knobs seem really nice. It seems very well made. It's lightweight. And Mike F is the one that told me about Tamco, so I appreciate that, Mike. This is a 1-to-1. You'll end up getting 2 gallons out of this because you mix it with the hardener.
You fit the paint, ain't you? You better get a fan set up. With an exhaust.
Yeah, I'll hook the fans up. think I got it on there right. That seems pretty good. It seemed like it was going on a little wet. I did use a reducer. I don't think I need a reducer. So I'm gonna try it without it this time. We got some runs, but shouldn't be a big deal. We're gonna be doing body work and sanding and everything. This is just to protect, keep it from rusting while we do the body work. So we can sand that off at some point. We're gonna be doing a lot of body work on this, but it really kind of lets you see where all the little dents and dings and stuff are. All right, let's mix up another batch. This time we're not gonna use the reducer. We're just gonna do 1-to-1. Let's see what happens. And we're gonna turn the pressure up just a little bit, and we're gonna turn the volume down. Just called Mike, he said try that, so let's see what happens. Oh yeah, that's better. All right, there it is. It's got a nice protective coat on it now. On most of the surfaces. It's a little sticky on the floor. I don't know if that's normal for epoxy. I'm assuming it is. I don't remember it being that sticky on the chassis, but maybe it was. This is a different epoxy primer. This is a Tamco. Seemed to work pretty good. When I first started, I didn't have enough pressure in my gun, so it wasn't coming out quite right, but I got Mike F on the phone and he walked me through it. I adjusted my pressure, my flow, and it started coming out a lot nicer. So I also used a little bit of reducer on the first batch and I don't think it needed it. So on the second batch and the third and fourth batch, I didn't use it. Seemed like it was flowing out real nice. So I don't think the reducer was necessary. And I was using a 2.0 tip on the 3M gun. You can hear the floor, it's all sticky. It's a messy job painting. So this is the tip. I cleaned it out. These are basically disposable. They're like $5 a piece, so you can just throw them away or you can clean them off and use them again. I'll probably try using it again. Here's a new one, a 1.8. So the kit comes with a bunch of heads and extra cups and stuff, and then I ordered some additional disposable inserts and filter tops. Yeah, but the gun seems to be working pretty good. I just didn't have the airflow. I just had to adjust the settings a little bit. I think I got coverage on everything. It's hard to see sometimes when you're, I mean, for me, it's, you know, this is not something that I normally do. So I get a little bit of anxiety and stress and start going a little crazy. But I think I got pretty good coverage. And for this, it's not, you know, Mike was saying, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's okay if you get runs. It's just a matter of covering the rust, covering the bare metal so it doesn't rust. And then now you can start doing all your body work. So just as an example, I'm going to sand this back down right here and cut out this little piece and put in a new little piece of metal. And here, oh yeah, it's sticky. But a lot of these areas I won't mess with. Like this is pretty much perfect. So at some point we'll scuff this up a little bit and then we'll put on our surface primer. And we're gonna, you know, I went ahead and just covered everything. It was just easier that way. But we're gonna sand this back down and work on getting this smoothed out. You can see some holes here where they tried to pull a dent way back in the day. And this is all gonna come out. This is just a bunch of filler they put in here to fix the rusted panel. This side did not get hit. This side is pretty good shape other than there's a little dent here and a dent there. But this side actually had a pretty good impact at one point. Somebody backed into something or somebody ran into it right here. So there's a lot of issues here that have to be addressed. You can see when I first started to apply, it was too thin and it was starting to run and my pressure wasn't high enough. So it's all right. We're gonna be sanding this off and we're gonna be doing a lot of body work on this area. So a lot of this is gonna come back off. So I try not to put too thick here. I just kind of put like one layer right here. But in the areas where it's pretty perfect, I put a couple layers. So we've got really good protection here. And the primer, the epoxy primer also gives the surface primer something to attach to, something to adhere to. So as far as I understand, I'm still learning all this stuff. Oop, still learning. So anyway, it looks pretty cool. It took a few days. I had a few setbacks. You know, every time I came out here, there was something else. I started sanding, and another area I found that I needed to work on. And really, you know, Mike F was saying, just do one section at a time. I just wanted to get the whole thing completely down to bare metal, but he's saying do a section, a manageable section, get it down to bare metal, and then put the primer on it, and then do another section, because otherwise it starts to get surface rust, starts to flash rust and all that stuff. But I managed it pretty well. I just had to go back over some areas a few times. I'm gonna show you guys something here real quick. I wanted to show you guys this. This is the battery tray, and this is one that I ordered, I think, from CIP1 or one of the other places. And then this is one I found on the Samba Gab Fab. He makes these by hand. There's good and bad about both of them. What's interesting is this one is curved here, and this one is, it has a curve here, but this is square. So if you overlay this, these are supposed to be identical to both be for the same replacement part. Look at the difference in that. Imagine trying to fit this piece in there. It's way off. Not only that, it's curved here. It doesn't make sense. I don't even know how they make it like that. What's cool about this one is it comes with this part. This is where you put your engine gasket seal. The Fab Gab doesn't come with one, so that's a little disappointing. But this is definitely a better design, for sure. This is like the original, almost identical. I'm not sure if it's the same gauge. It feels a little lighter. This one feels heavier, but this one also has this piece right here. We're just adding some weight to it. I didn't have a gauge to check the thickness, but this one feels a little thicker. It's got a primer on it too, so. But this will definitely be easier to fit. See how that one's square? And this one's square. And it almost snugs right in. You can see it needs a little bit of fitment, but it's pretty close. You try to fit this one, it doesn't fit. There's a big, huge gap right there. I just don't understand why this is like this, unless this is for a different year. I don't know. I thought I ordered the correct one, but I'll double check. But man, that's a huge difference in the way it's designed. So if I don't end up using this one, I'll sell it, but I might end up using this piece off of it. I might cut this piece off and use it, because the Gab Fab doesn't come with one. So this is still sticky. I just finished putting the primer on there, and it went pretty good. It's not perfect, but it'll be all right. I'll show you guys something else real quick. I picked up a dent puller, stud welder, dent repair stud welder. Mike F has one of these. He says it works great. It was $100 at Harbor Freight. So we'll be using this real soon. Probably in the next video, we're gonna be using that to fix some of the dents on the Ghia, and we'll see how that goes. And here's the high build gray primer. It's a DTM high build gray primer. This is the HP 5310 TAM code. This is supposed to be really, really nice. And this is the Forever Seal, which goes on top before you paint. So that thing's gonna be sealed up really nice. Probably better than it was from the factory. We've got our AG47 here. Another Mike F recommendation, so we'll be trying that. We've got some Pro Glaze. Yeah, we're going full-blown auto body here. So this is the gun that I got from Eastwood. It's got a 1.3 on it. This thing works really good. The top is terrible. I need to get a new top for it because I did like using it for the primer, and it seemed to work fine with that tip. So I used the I used the 2.0 on that. It may have been a little too big. I don't know. The 1.3 seemed to work pretty good with this, but I'm still gonna have, I gotta learn all that stuff. I think it's just one of those things you develop a preference, and depending on the material you're using on all that stuff. So it's dark, guys. It gets dark out here early now. Cars out there somewhere. It's kind of spooky out here. It's kind of nice too. It's just a nice cool breeze out here. You can hear the wind blowing through the pines. Coming off the lake. It's beautiful out here. There's the Dragon's Cab. We're gonna be working on that soon. I know a lot of you guys subscribed because of the Swamp Dragon, and I appreciate it. And we're gonna be getting to that soon. Just wanted to get a little bit more work done on the Ghia first, but we might start jumping between the Dragon and the Ghia, depending on what parts and stuff I have available. And also sometimes it's good to just take a break, step back, and evaluate something. So, maybe I can put the floors in the Dragon's Cab and clean it up a little bit. It's been sitting out in the weather, but that epoxy has been working really good. That's the epoxy that Darren put on there, and it's held up really well. There is a couple little areas that have rusted, but we can clean that up real quick. And I want to get that going. I want to start working on the Dragon's chassis, the Dragon's frame. The frame is here. It's been blasted and painted. It's just got some dust on it. So we'll dig that frame out. We'll move it over here, get the beast out of the way, and start working on the Dragon. Maybe in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to order the parts, the other parts that I need for the Ghia. I need to come up with a name for the Ghia. But I need to order this center part. I need to order this piece here and some other pieces that are all connected underneath and stuff. So that's going to be a process. So while I'm doing that, I'm going to experiment with the dent puller and work on some of that stuff. But I might also jump on the Dragon and just kind of jump between the two a little bit. But don't worry, this is going to get done. Hopefully, we'll start digging into the metal work real soon. So, guys, I appreciate it. I know I've been rambling. The paint fumes have probably gotten to me a little bit. Although this mask works really, really good. I recommend it if you're doing it. Actually, I didn't smell any paint fumes while I was wearing the mask. And you can breathe really good with this thing. So, highly recommended. All right, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Later. Let's do it.